The NFL is littered with instances of officials making bad calls. You have the 2018 NFC Championship game, for example,
Now, Breeze. Pass is incomplete, no flag.
or the replacement ref situation.
Off to the end zone, which is fought for by Tate with Jennings simultaneous. Who has it? Who they give it to? Touchdown!
But there's one bad call that was so terrible that led towards violence against NFL officials and one of the craziest endings in NFL history. This is Bottlegate. So here's the scene. It's week 14 of the NFL seasons, and the Cleveland Browns host the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Browns are led by new head coach Butch Davis, and the Browns have just gotten their football team back after the Browns became the Ravens. And while the Ravens were winning Super Bowls, the Browns had won 5 games in the past 2 years. But this year seemed to be a little bit different, as the Browns were coming into this game 6-6 against at the time, division rival, Jacksonville Jaguars. At the time, they were both in the AFC Central, so this could be a big win for the Cleveland Browns and help them get into the playoffs. And it looked like they could win this game as well, because in the twilight of the fourth quarter, the score is 15-10 with the Browns marching down the field. Tim Couch hits Quincy Morgan on a crucial 4th and 2 for a first down. The Browns then hurry up and spike the ball, and the clock is stopped with 49 seconds left to go. Now here's where things start to get a little bit hairy, as we see Jaguars head coach Tom Coughlin is yelling at the referees, complaining that it was intentional grounding on the spike.
And you know what? What the Jags are saying, when his arm came forward, you actually have one chance to spike it. They're saying that that's a fumble. Or, you know what? They're not a fumble. I'm sorry, Gus. They're saying that it's intentional grounding because he wasn't out of the pocket.
And to be quite honest, I actually think it was as well. Look at the replay.
Because you're not outside the pocket. Look at it. See the fake right there? He did it the second time. So he wasn't throwing it to anybody.
And then after a few minutes, we hear this.
So this is what we've been told. That the replay officials on the previous play, the 4th down play, they tried to buzz the referees on the field, and they wanted the ref to take a look at where the ball was on the Quincy Morgan reception to review it.
So to reiterate what the announcers just said, the replay officials tried buzzing the refs on the field and wanted to review the Quincy Morgan reception. And let's take a look at it again, but this time from a different angle.
Forget the potential grounding call, which I thought the Jags were going after originally. They were saying Quincy Morgan was juggling that ball.
Well, yeah, he definitely bobbled it, and it probably wasn't a catch. But since the Browns have already got another playoff, it couldn't be reviewed and overturned, right?
And so
this is a mess.
I think the way that the rule states is that it goes back to what was called on the field. They called it a completion. So it's got to be irrefutable evidence to overturn it. And they ran another play, which I've never seen happen in this.
After review, the pass is incomplete. First down, Jacksonville.
So they say he was juggling the ball.
I believe that's illegal, actually. And not good for the mood in Paul Brown Stadium. As we see the replay a few more times, the camera pans to bottles of beer being thrown on the field. After a few more stressful minutes, the game is eventually called.
And now they're going to call the game.
That is the end of the game.
Unbelievable. Now they call the game.
Bottles still being thrown, the Jaguars, Browns, and refs all try to make it to the locker rooms, while bottles rain down from above. Announcers lament the series of events, and then a few minutes later, the NFL commissioner at the time, Paul Tagliabue, I don't know how to say his last name, calls the officials for the game to be restarted. So both teams trot out on the field so that the Jaguars can kneel the ball twice, with the final score being 15-10. Jaguars win. And then the refs get a second dose of beer balls being thrown on them to wrap up the game. After this loss, the Browns would finish their season with a 7-9 record, placing 3rd in the AFC Central and missing the playoffs. The Jaguars would also miss out on the playoffs with a slightly worse 6-10 record. And this is probably, for now, the worst officiating moment in NFL history, until the refs eventually award Patrick Mahomes a Super Bowl for shits and gigs.